Hey guys, welcome back to another episode in my gut health series. Today we're going to talk about prebiotics and fermented foods, and I will also have for you guys one super simple recipe so that you can make your own fermented foods at home. So let's get started. Prebiotics are defined as anything that feeds or helps to grow the probiotic bacteria in our gut in a way that improves the gut. Think of them like a fertilizer. In order for your bacteria to grow, they need their fuel, which is why it's so important to consume prebiotics. Prebiotics are incredible assets to our health. The benefits of consuming them include improved bone density, increased mineral absorption, especially calcium and magnesium, healthy immunity and lowered cholesterol, and improved insulin sensitivity and weight loss support. Prebiotics are found in the fiber we get from food. In fact, all fruits and vegetables contain soluble fiber, which is prebiotic. Wheat, however, is mostly insoluble fiber, so it's not considered prebiotic. Oats have about half soluble fiber and half insoluble fiber, so they're somewhat prebiotic. Psyllium husk, a common fiber supplement, is 100% soluble fiber, so it counts as prebiotic. Now, the downside of psyllium husk is that it apparently works better for men than women. Women might experience effects like if they take laxatives. I personally never had this problem with psyllium husk. I think that psyllium works great for me. It keeps me full. It does not act like a laxative. So I actually personally think that it comes down to bio-individuality more than the gender thing. But you guys let me know. Have you ever had any problems taking psyllium husk? Let me know about your own experience. One of the most effective and well-studied prebiotics is a type of soluble fiber called inulin. Inulin can be found in foods like asparagus, garlic, onion, or jicama. Now let's switch gears here and let's talk about fermented foods. Whenever you ferment a food, it starts to be broken down by the bacteria it contains. And in the end, nutrient level increase and it becomes easier to digest since the bacteria has already begun to pre-digest them during the fermentation process. So all of the food's nutrients and vitamins are readily available. Some of them even created by the bacteria that fermented it. Fermented foods include pickles, sauerkraut, kombucha, kimchi, kefir, yogurt, sourdough bread, or fermented cabbage juice. For example, kefir is a fermented drink that is traditionally made out of milk. However, people who do not consume dairy can try coconut kefir or water kefir instead. No matter the source, the star ingredient are kefir grains because they contain the bacteria, yeast, and prebiotics that are needed for fermentation. Sourdough bread is the product of fermenting yeast and bacteria during bread making. Its sour flavor comes from the bacteria that have eaten the sugar in the bread, and compared to most breads, sourdough is the easiest to digest. However, it's still a source of gluten, which may irritate the GI tract and lead to conditions like leaky gut. Now, despite fermented foods being a great source of probiotics, they are not actual substitutes for them. Probiotics in the supplement form are more potent and are used for specific conditions. The real benefits of fermented foods come from the products of fermentation. The bacteria themselves are not hardy or even high enough to repopulate your gut. And depending on how the fermented food is made, you may not even get any bacteria. This often happens when too much vinegar is used or when the product is pasteurized. Fermented foods are great though because they contain many different types of bacteria. Their bacterial variety cannot be matched, and this is because they can catch bacteria from the air or the food that is being fermented. Way before we had refrigerators, fermentation was our original method for storing perishable foods like fruits and veggies to help us survive the long winter. And let's not forget to address the elephant in the room, wine and liquor. Yes, technically speaking, these drinks are fermented foods. Many cultures even have fermented herbs in wine and liquor. An old Chinese tradition involves taking a shot of rice wine with fermented herbs in the evening. But we all know the undesired effects of alcohol, so let's not be too quick to down a few drinks just yet. Outside of alcohol though, fermented foods provide a number of health benefits. Improvement in mood and immunity, lower inflammation, and balancing the pH of our intestines. Another benefit of fermented foods is their ability to naturally increase stomach acid. Just keep in mind that people who suffer from GERD, acid reflux, or heartburn should probably hold off before their issues become resolved, because it could be quite uncomfortable. However, fermented foods overall could be very beneficial for all of these situations. If you start to experience gas or bloating when consuming fermented foods, it really helps to lower the dose and build your way up. Beginners should especially go this way since they're not used to eating these type of foods. If these symptoms don't go away, then it's worthwhile to check if there is a deeper condition going on, such as yeast infection like Candida or SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Once you've treated these issues and restored the gut, then you can slowly reintroduce fermented foods. So the takeaway of today's talk is that both fermented foods and prebiotic rich fiber are both very powerful ways to support a healthy gut. And many people notice they feel amazing physically and emotionally after they improve their digestion. And you can do just that by incorporating both of these types of foods. But now it's time to get fermenting. I'm not gonna leave you hanging without any recipe. I have one for you that is super simple. Anyone can do that one at home. So today I'm gonna show you how you can make your own sauerkraut out of red cabbage. So you're gonna need a medium-sized cabbage. Then you're gonna start by peeling off the top layer and then just start chopping the cabbage. Chop it in small pieces and then throw it in a big bowl. And don't use up the whole thing. You're gonna need just a few leaves left just for the end. I'm gonna show you what to do with them later. So after you transfer the rest of the chopped cabbage into the bowl, you wanna add 1 tablespoon of either sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. Then you start mashing the cabbage with your hands, breaking down the cells, releasing the liquids, and you're gonna do that for a few minutes until the cabbage starts to glisten and becomes softer. Then you transfer it into a big glass jar and just really mash it down with your fist. Make sure that there's no space, no air, and just really pack the glass. Then take some of the leaves, big leaves of the remaining cabbage, and create a little cap out of it and put it into the jar. Again, smoosh it down. Then you're gonna take a small glass jar filled with water, insert it into the big jar, smoosh down the cabbage with it, then cover it with a cheesecloth or kitchen cloth and secure it with an elastic band. Done. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to make your own sauerkraut at home. It's nothing difficult. And now that the hardest part is done, you want to make sure that it sits somewhere at the room temperature, maybe on your kitchen counter. And for the next 24 hours, I would just make sure that every time you walk by it, you press down on the top jar and kind of make sure that you squeeze all the air out of it. And in 24 hours tomorrow, I would check if the cabbage is submerged in water. It should be really covered in water, all of it, all the way to the top. And if it's not, then you can make your own brine and add the brine to it. The way you make a brine is just to take a cup of filtered water and about a teaspoon of the pink Himalayan salt or the sea salt and just mix it together and pour it into the jar. And then you let the jar sit again on the counter for about 2 to 3 weeks. You're gonna notice that the color will change. It's gonna be like a more like pinkish, light pink. It's gonna fade a little bit, the color, you're gonna see that, and it's gonna be covered completely in water. And after the 2 to 3 weeks, you wanna taste it, and if you like it, if you like that tangy flavor, then the moment you decide it's done, you just put it in the fridge, because the fridge, the cold temperature slows down the fermentation process, and it lasts in the fridge. It's gonna last you for months. So this is how you do it. So guys, that's it for today. I will have more recipes for fermented foods on my website, so if you're watching on YouTube, click on the link below. It's gonna take you to the post with all the links. And I'm gonna see you next time in the next episode of Gut Health series, so don't forget to subscribe, or I will see you tomorrow in the Z Gym with another workout. Ciao!